Snapchat that you did, those numbers.
Like you're all over the internet, Negor. This is serious.
This is very serious.
This is no joke. This is your whole life. Your whole life.
And ours.
And ours.
Having entered a plea of guilty to the crime of first-degree murder, I sentence you to life in prison. Because of your age, you are eligible for review of the sentence in 25 years.
What was the plan after that?
There wasn't any plan beyond that.
Like hide the body, bury the body, save the body?
At that time, we were going to hide the body. I guess in our arrogance, we kind of assumed that nobody would ever find her.
Mackenzie Shirilla is this person. She was convicted of murder at the age of 17 for causing her lover and his buddy to die.
Mackenzie decided death was the ultimate goal that day. This was not reckless driving. This was murder.
In an automobile accident. When Shirilla struck the side of a business building outside of Cleveland at high speed, her boyfriend Dominic Russo and his friend Davin Flanagan were inside the vehicle. Shirilla lived, but both males were declared dead at the spot. The teenager, according to the prosecution, had a bad connection with her boyfriend and had threatened to harm him. According to reports, she intentionally crashed her car in order to murder her partner, with his friend just suffering minor injuries. The prosecutor claimed that watching the video made the intent clear.
You see her driving very calmly and making the right turn, and then all evidence indicates she immediately put the pedal to the metal and drove straight into a building at 100 miles per hour. I think those really demonstrated to us that this was no accident.
She had allegedly plotted the crime using the same route a few days before to the crash. The judge found her guilty in court.
Count one. Finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of murder, to wit Dominic Russo.
She got to her feet and sobbed as she was put in handcuffs.
Finds the defendant, Mackenzie Shirilla, guilty of murder, to wit Davion Flanagan.
Prior to being sentenced, Shirilla said,
I'm not a Davion. I'm so deeply sorry. I hope one day you can see I would never let this happen or do it on purpose. I wish I could remember what happened. I'm just so sorry. I'm heartbroken.
There was no medical condition that caused this as an accident. There was no mechanical failure of the car. A failed suicide attempt is not a defense to murder. There's a very good likelihood, Mackenzie, that you will spend the rest of your life in prison. She's sentenced on count 1, 15 years to life. Count 2, 15 years to life, to be served concurrent to each other.
The judge stated, there's a very good likelihood, Mackenzie, that you will spend the rest of your life in prison. On both counts, she was given concurrent sentences of 15 years to life. This is Aiden Fucci, who admitted to killing his classmate in court. A 13-year-old girl from Patriot Oaks Academy in St. Johns County, Florida, was a classmate of Fucci's. He gave her 114 stab wounds. Later, her lifeless body was found in the forest. Following his arrest, Fucci was spotted taking Snapchats in the back of a police vehicle. Fucci and his parents are seen in the interrogation room on camera. According to his parents,
The Snapchat that you did, those numbers.
Like you're all over the internet, Negor. This is serious.
This is very serious.
This is no joke. This is your whole life. Your whole life.
And ours.
And ours.
prosecutors' video footage showed Fucci and the girl strolling together just before the murder. According to reports, Fucci was spotted fleeing the scene of the body's discovery approximately 90 minutes later. 49 defensive wounds, 35 head and neck wounds, 29 back and shoulder wounds, and 6 fatal wounds were among the 114 stab wounds found during the autopsy.
114 stab wounds, 49 defensive wounds, 35 wounds to the head and neck, 29 to the back and shoulder, and 6 fatal wounds.
He entered a guilty plea to first-degree murder, and the judge sentenced him to life in prison. His punishment is subject to future reconsideration due to his advanced age.
Having entered a plea of guilty to the crime of first-degree murder, I sentence you to life in prison. Because of your age, you are eligible for review of the sentence in 25 years.
Following the sentencing, Fucci remained motionless, hardly moving. This is the situation with Jeremy Goodell and Willard Miller. They were both accused of killing their high school Spanish teacher while they were only 16 years old. It was reportedly about a poor grade.
We then moved her off of the trail, where I then struck her, and she died as a result.
In southeast Iowa, Miller and Goodell went to Fairfield High School. Their Spanish teacher was Nohema Graber. Graber gave Miller a bad mark, and he and Goodell decided to murder her.
We discussed a general plan, and I'll stand up here, look out, wait for Miss Graber to show up.
Graber headed to Chautauqua City Park on her daily stroll. The boys were familiar with her routine. They ambushed and stalked her.
Here she comes, and she walked by and hit her in the back of the head, and then I said, "Oh shit," to make sure she's dead. So we hit her a couple more times.
They took her into the woods and used a baseball bat to beat her till she died.
What was the plan after that?
There wasn't really a plan beyond that.
Like hide the body, bury the body, save the body?
At that time, we were going to hide the body. I guess in our arrogance, we kind of assumed that nobody would ever find her.
Both boys were apprehended shortly after. According to court filings, a witness who knew Goodell provided law enforcement with Snapchat chats that suggested Goodell and Miller were involved in the murder. Later on, Jeremy Goodell would testify against Willard Miller, his best friend, and enter a guilty plea.
I understood that he had the intent to kill Mrs. Graber.
What is your plea to murder in the first degree, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Goodell talks at this point prior to his sentence.
I had time to think on what to say, and I'm sorry, truly sorry. Every day I wish I could go back and stop myself. I can't comprehend losing a loved one in such an awful way.
The judge now imposes the penalty.
The defendants shall be sentenced to life with the possibility of parole after 25 years.
Miller now apologizes.
I would like to take this opportunity to wholeheartedly accept responsibility for the role that I've played in the murder of Nahima Graber. To the family, I'm sincerely sorry for the distress that I've caused you and the devastation. And I ask that I'm given a chance, and I don't want to be institutionalized. I don't want to be in so long that I forget about what matters, where I come from, and I look forward to getting through this.
The judge now has some closing remarks.
The defendant, Willard Noble Chaden Miller, should be sentenced to life with the possibility of parole after 35 years.
Miller appears very unconcerned. These are Sheila Eddy and Rachel Schoaf, who are both in court for killing their buddy when they were only 16.
Their scheme was to hide knives on their bodies and to attack Skylar at an agreed-upon moment.
Skylar Neese, 16, was pals with Schoaf and Eddy. According to reports, Schoaf and Eddy made the decision to kill Skylar since they no longer liked her. They executed the plot together, stabbing and killing her.
Sheila Eddy and Rachel Schoaf carried out that plan. Together they stabbed and killed Skylar.
Both teenagers were taken into custody following Schoaf's confession. In return for her help in the case, Schoaf consented to enter a guilty plea to second-degree murder. Schoaf said,
I'm so sorry. I don't know if there's a proper way to make this apology because there are not even words to describe the guilt and remorse that I feel each day for what I've done. I hurt the Neese family and those who love Skylar. I hurt my parents and shamed my family. May God bring eternal peace to Skylar and the entire Neese family.
The judge handed down Schoaf's sentence after negotiating a plea agreement.
Rachel Schoaf, it is the sentence of the court that you be imprisoned in the West Virginia State Penitentiary for a period of 30 years.
According to the court's ruling, Rachel Schoaf would be held in the West Virginia State Penitentiary for 30 years with the chance of release. Eddy now.
It is the sentence of the court that you be imprisoned in the West Virginia State Penitentiary for the rest of your natural life. That sentence is technically with mercy, which makes you eligible for parole after you have served 15 years.